Welcome back to your Magnetic Man Initiation version 2.0. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 common mistakes that men make when connecting with women sexually, and the 3 mastery skills that you need to feel confident and connected when you're with a woman. Now, I hope you'll see how these skills build upon each other. If you want to be able to make meaningful, intimate connections with women, you'll need to master the skills in Mastery Video number 1. It's only a magnetic man who's mastered acceptance of self, service to his soul, and his sacred seed that can awaken the goddess within each woman. As a woman, I know firsthand, we are often confusing even to ourselves. It's the nature of the feminine to be inconsistent, unpredictable, and mysterious. But we've also felt compelled to prove our independence by beating men at their own masculine game, for lack of a better word, climbing corporate ladders, out-masculining men, denying our sensitivities, our vulnerabilities, our intuition. Ultimately, this means that many women, most women, and the men who love us or want to love us are still in the dark about what it means to truly own our feminine sexual energy, our feminine power, our feminine intuition. And part of what this means is that we can't always tell you what we need, want, desire, or if we do, it seems to change. We say one thing one moment, and the next we're saying something completely different. Does that sound familiar? I'm sure it does for many of you. Now, before we dive into the 3 common mistakes and the mastery skills that you need to overcome them, I want to give you 2 pieces of insight about the feminine in general. The first is, as soon as you think you've got us figured out, it's like there's a warning bell that goes off inside a woman's psyche that compels us to throw you a curveball just to keep you on your toes. This isn't a conscious decision, at least usually not. And it's a quality of the feminine, and the sooner that you make peace with it, the better off that we will all be. So how do you deal with this as a man? The rule number 1 of loving the goddess is always see us as a mystery. Never try to figure us out or think that you have us figured out. And stay on your toes. Try to enjoy just doing the dance with us. That's part of what we're here for. The feminine is to keep things in movement, in motion, keep you on your toes, keep your creativity stimulated. The second insight is that a little bit of reversed psychology, especially when it comes to sex, is your friend when connecting with women. Ironically, the more that we feel that you need to have sex with us, the more that we want to push you away. And the more that we can feel that you don't need it, but that it might be a nice thing, the more that we crave you, the more that we need to have you. Isn't it funny how that works? So this is where the power to meet your own needs, reassure the vulnerable parts of yourself, and own the power of your sacred seed, these skills become really important. If you're truly connected to yourself, your neediness starts to melt away, and we feel drawn towards you. Keep these 2 things in mind the next time you're with a woman and see what happens. Okay, are you ready? Here are the 3 most common mistakes men make when connecting with women sexually, and the mastery skills that will elevate your sexual sharing. Mistake number 1, being focused on getting inside. Every woman has had her very own, very personal experience of being seen as a sexual object ever since she was a little girl. Some women have experienced this in the extremes of abuse and rape, and for others it's taken milder forms such as unwanted sexual comments and advances, or even confusing experiences of date rape, in which the line is blurred between consenting and being convinced or subtly coerced by someone we basically like. Like, why else would we be on a date or in a sexy situation with you if we didn't like you? But liking you isn't the same as being ready to invite you into our sacred space. And because of this pervasive experience of being seen as an object for the sexual gratification of men, almost all women have some kind of defense mechanisms around our sexual center. Now, in the early stages of a relationship, when the chemistry is hot and heavy, sometimes those defenses are down. But when the relationship starts to move on, there's this subtle sense that men only want to be nice to us, take us out, or compliment us to get inside of our yonis. Yoni is an Indian word that literally means sacred space. The yoni is the womb. It's the seat of creation. It's magical and mystical. And of course, you want to get inside. Just like your sacred seed, the yoni is a powerful source of creative energy. Whatever seeds you sow in here will definitely come to life. So be careful what you plant inside of a woman's yoni. It will come back to you, especially during the time of her period. When the yoni is approached or even entered without true consideration for the woman, it's possible that you'll set off alarms that trigger her old memories of being disrespected and even used. These memories they come up in mysterious ways for us, and we don't always connect the experience we're having with you to this memory, but some emotions get triggered for us, and it can make the connection feel distant. For so many women, the experience of being with a man sexually is that of being taken from. The man has the gratification of his own desire in mind, and a woman feels that he's used her body, taken what he wanted, and then wonders why she isn't begging for more. This brings us to mastery skill number 1, being focused on letting her see you and letting her feel seen. See her as a mystery and make her feel like you don't need to physically get inside of her. Now, the trick is not to do this as a strategy to get somewhere, right? You can't be trying to make her feel like you don't need to get in order to get in. But when you focus on sharing the magnetic man that you are, allowing her to see into you, and giving her the sense that you're seeing into her, into the mystery that is her, reveling in her, drinking her in, and giving her yoni space and time to really choose you, you actually help to create longing. You give her the chance to open to you, to crave you, and to truly invite you in. Would you rather enter her sacred space and question whether you're truly wanted there, or give her the space to feel into her own desire for you and invite you in when she's truly ready? Now, I have so much compassion for the feeling of sexual neediness that so many men feel. Some of you are so deprived of sexual touch and connection. You're starving. And here I am telling you to go to the buffet and pretend that you're not hungry. Well, guys, pretending isn't gonna cut it either. It's a thin veneer. And the quality women that you deserve to be connecting with, they'll see right through you. It's one of the reasons that transforming your relationship to yourself, your sexual energy, and even the way you touch yourself is so important. If you're needy when you're connecting with your partner, you'll feel more compelled to try to take what you think you need. This will only lead to more disconnect, more distrust, and even perhaps prolong your feelings of neediness, right? If you feel disconnected from her, you try to take what you want and she pushes you away, you're not going to get your needs met again. So it's a vicious cycle, guys. So now I want you to think back to the last time that you felt a woman was demanding that you be in love or make a commitment to a relationship with her and you weren't ready. These really are two opposite sides of the same coin. Women's desire to create emotional bonds and men's desire to create sexual connection. If you've ever had a woman place demands upon your heart and emotions, how did that feel? Do you want the women in your life to take your heart and emotions for granted? Do you want them to force you into making a commitment to a relationship that you're not sure you're ready for? Now take a moment to truly ask yourself, do I want to take what I need from women, or do I want to be invited? Close your eyes for a moment. Visualize yourself enacting the choice that you just made the next time you're with a woman. Make a commitment to give women the space and time they need to truly invite you into their sacred space. Give them the space and time that you would want before they try to force you into a relationship. Can you also make a commitment to see no as a sign that a woman is still arriving at her authentic yes? Can you honor and respect her need for more time? Do you want her to be able to honor your need for more time before you make an emotional commitment? This brings us to mistake number 2, focusing on getting her off. Okay, so you've been invited into the sacred space. Now what? It's a popular conception among men these days that more evolved men are focused on getting the woman off before getting off for themselves. It's a nice thought, and we truly appreciate your awareness of our own needs and desires and our pleasure. Even still, there are a few problems with this approach. The first problem is that for many women, we can sense your intense focus on getting us to orgasm, and it can feel like pressure. Our minds suddenly become very busy. Oh God, he's trying so hard. I really want to make him happy. I really want to make him feel good. But so suddenly we're no longer in the experience. We're no longer in our body. We're no longer in our heart where we're connecting to you, where the potential for pleasure is happening. We are in our heads. It also happens that we lose you when you're so focused on our yoni and our orgasm. Instead of being present, connected, letting us see and feel you, and feeling as though you're truly seeing and feeling us, the woman that we are, you're in your head. You're trying to remember this technique or that spot that's supposed to drive us wild. The result of that is that we go back to feeling like an object that's meant to fulfill your needs. In this case, your need to prove that you can get us off, rather than see us as a beautiful mystery to be enjoyed and imbibed. So mastery skill number 2 is sexual nurturing. The only objective that really pays off when it comes to our sexual sharing is helping our partner to feel as loved, adored, and appreciated as possible. Think about it. If you focus on getting her off, you're likely to put pressure on her and take her out of the experience. If you focus on getting off yourself, you're likely to leave her feeling used. Have you ever shared a sexual experience where you and your partner both came, but it still felt like something was missing? It's a common experience, and a simple shift in your focus can lead to more consistently satisfying experiences of sexual sharing. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, unless we're simply using our partner's body for our own pleasure and gratification, the real reason that we've created this sexy situation in the first place is that we want to feel as close and connected as possible to our partner. We call it making love, but we often lose sight of what this actually means. Making love is the act of bringing your body, mind, heart, and passion together with a person of your choosing, with the potential to actually create the emotions and energy of love. The experience of giving and receiving love in the closest, most intimate way possible. Making love. So if you're making love and you're focused on allowing your touch, your words, your eyes, and your body to communicate your appreciation, affection, trust, respect, and awe of your partner, you're way more likely to feel successful than if you're focusing on the elusive orgasm, especially since we know that having an orgasm doesn't guarantee that we feel connected or even satisfied. Take a moment to ask yourself, what is it that I'm really seeking when I make love with a woman? Where do I want to place my focus and my attention? What will help me and my partner to feel as close and connected as possible? Make a commitment to placing your attention on the things that matter the most to you the next time you're with a partner. Okay, so you've waited to be invited. You've focused on the loving connection between the two of you. So you deserve to be rewarded, right? She owes you a finish of some sort, right? Remember, I mentioned earlier that most women have some kind of experience of being used for men's gratification and pleasure. The most powerful representation of this experience of being used and taken from is your ejaculatory orgasm. There's a little voice in every woman's mind when a man is wooing her, and especially when sexual connecting begins. He just wants to get off. Now, this is a complex subject because the truth is that many women are trained to believe that a man's ejaculation proves that she's a good lover. Oh, good, he came, I did my job. But at the same time, every time you show us attention or affection or touch or physically connect to us, and that connection leads to your ejaculation, another even more insidious voice rears its ugly head. It's the voice that believes that no matter how wonderful our man is, he really just wants to use us for his pleasure. Now guys, I want to make sure that you know that I know that there are corresponding experiences for men. Many men come to distrust women's sexual advances because you are led to feel that we only give you sex when we want something. And so here's the battle of the sexes in a nutshell. Each of us is convinced that the other is going to take something from us, and we're almost waiting for it to happen so that we can pull away and put up our defenses again. We think this makes us safe. But we know better, right? Being alone and disconnected might feel safe, but it can also feel miserable, so lonely. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Being a magnetic man, becoming a master lover, and creating truly meaningful connections with women takes a lot of self-responsibility. You have to honor and own your own vulnerability while at the same time being willing to share that vulnerability with another. You have to forgive your past partners and give your new partners the benefit of the doubt. And you absolutely must be certain that two wrongs don't make a right, and choose to be respectful and generous with your lovers and partners, even when you're afraid to be hurt and abandoned yourself. We'll talk about this more in the next video. It's all about win-win dating and relationships. And so now we've arrived at mastery skill number 3, awakening your inner daka, or sacred sexual healer. Tantric men, magnetic men who own their masculinity, deeply respect and honor the feminine, they also take on the role of daka, or sacred sexual healer. A daka has a clear and heartfelt intention to be a healing force for women. A daka owns his divine masculine and shares his presence, his love, his gifts, his talents, his skills with women. This offering of the best of himself reflects and awakens the divine feminine in his partners. He actually awakens the goddess inside of the women that he shares himself with in this way. He knows that his sexual energy is great power that comes with great responsibility. And he knows that every time he handles himself with integrity with a woman, he is contributing to a better world in which men and women are free to love each other to wholeness. to trust each other, to really believe in love, to open themselves to whole new levels. This is what a Daka knows that he can do every time he's loving, respectful, and patient with a woman. So now ask yourself, what kind of lover do you want to be? Selfish or selfless? Needy or self-contained? If it feels like a big stretch to imagine yourself being this generous as a lover, ask yourself this. What is it that you need in order to feel healed, whole, and ready to give without needing to get back in return? So now I invite you to join me for this Goddess Mystery School exercise to close this video. So sit comfortably, let yourself take a deep breath, and take a moment to notice that your hands and arms are extensions of your heart. Now really let yourself feel this connection and imagine that your hands are the delivery system of your heart's love out to the world. Now rub your hands together fast and firm and start to feel the heat that you're generating between your palms. Faster, a little faster, a little harder, get it a little hotter. Good. And now slowly draw your hands apart and gently press them back together and see if you can feel this magnetic field that you've created between your hands. Just see if you can gently push, and there's a little bit of resistance. There might be some tingling in the palms of your hands and the tips of your fingers. And now imagine that you're infusing this magnetic energy with the love from your heart as it travels down your arms into your hands. And now I want you to place your hands onto your own body and really tune into your touch and see if you can align your touch with your highest intentions to share your love, your affection, your respect with your partner the next time that you're touching her body. Really let yourself practice feeling. Can you feel your own love coming back to your own body? This is a skill that you want to refine. Now place your dominant hand on your magic wand, and your non-dominant hand on your heart. And affirm to yourself the kind of lover that you want to be. Do you want to be a Daka, a sacred sexual healer, selfless, generous, loving, awakening the goddess in every woman that he connects with? If you do, affirm that to yourself right now. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you for joining me for this second video in your Magnetic Man Initiation 2.0. Namaste.